Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining again this Wednesday. Um, I hope everyone had a great weekend. So for me, my studio has a monthly crafternoon. Um, by the way, I hope the mic is working because for some reason my right AirPod seems to not be working. And only my left one is. So, um, yeah, I hope the sound is coming across all right. Oh, hello, Gilliam. Thanks for joining today also. Okay, thanks for letting me know, Gilliam. Um, so yeah, so this past weekend, our studio has monthly crafternoons, where there's five of us in the studio, and we just hop on a like Google Meet or right now it's virtual. The first few were in the studio office itself, and then we hop on like a Zoom call or a Google Meet, and we just like catch up, and then we work on something. Usually like not on the computer. That's not like a strict rule, but it's like we just work on some things that we're excited about. And this past afternoon, I tried embroidery for the first time because um, my studio mate Catherine was super nice and sent me along like a starter embroidery kit. I am almost done with it, but I haven't had the chance to like finish the last little details. But that is my like happy weekend story of like it was really fun. It was really fun to just like when I tried out resin craft. It's really nice to just like kind of not think too much about what I'm doing and kind of just like enjoy the movements. Hi Alice, thanks for joining this week also. I'm very much looking forward to your stream coming back next Monday, right? Next Monday is the 7th, I think, is what you said. And hi to Just Judo and Quiet Deviant LV. I think last time I like when I caught up on the chat again, you said it was LV. So thanks for joining the chat again. And hello to Kurt. Why Will and yeah, so I was able to make affiliate. Oh, thank you so much, DT, for subscribing. And yeah, so I was able to make affiliate. I think maybe back in early August or I think. And then I had a lot of fun making two emotes. So thank you so much for allowing me to do that. BB5999 says, "Hi all, have watched archives, first time live. Have to be happy to be here. Thanks so much uh, for making it live, and thank you so much one for watching all of the archives, and two for making it live here. And I hope you enjoy the chat. Alice says her streams are next Tuesday. So Alice's she has something called um, uh, oh my God, my memory is so bad these days. Doodle Therapy, and it's on Adobe Live, and you just join, and it's an hour of really calming music and just really fun. Like Alice has a beautiful illustration style, so I'm very much looking forward to that. So then I'm thinking of hopefully just like following along and practicing my drawing, hopefully, once Alice comes back with the streams. Oh, next Monday is Labor Day, which is a national holiday. Always forget about these. Yes, I always forget about these also. Alice says hashtag freelance life. Yeah, I always forget that we have holidays. um, but thanks again to DT for subscribing. And Josh Judo says, awesome, love the PC emotes. Yes, my laptop, you can't hear because I have my like AirPods in for the mic, but I can hear it just like the fan is going and my poor laptop. I'll leave my PC on alert. Unfortunately, quite late for me as always. Oh no, just Judo, did you? Ever tell us where you're based? Says, hope you have an awesome rest of the stream, though. Thank you so much. And DT has used my burning laptop emote. Gilliam says, oh yeah, I've been known to show up at the office on those days too. Gilliam. Oh, Judo says, I'm from Luxembourg. Not sure if I mentioned before. So Luxembourg. Okay, so my geography is really horrible. Um, an example of how, so if I remember correctly, that is north of France. Um, so yeah, so it's 11 p.m. and I have to get up quite early. Well, thank you so much for still making it in the chat. I'm really sorry that like these times are really inconvenient for those of you in Europe, but yeah, it's a tiny country between Germany, France, and Belgium. Yes, okay, I remembered this correctly. So an example of how bad my geography is the excuse I used is that I came to America when I was 10. So then before that I was in Japan. And so I blame this purely on the fact that, you know, learned English at 10. Not that that's really a good excuse, but I still remember like in like maybe sophomore year or like sometime around when we have to learn like world history or European history, and then like someone mentioned like the Berlin Wall, and I was like, oh, Berlin Wall, is that in England? And I still remember to this day getting like my friends laughing at me, and I was like, what? How do you know not know that that's in Germany? So I now forever know that the Berlin Wall is in Germany. But I was like, at the time, I remember being like, I don't know, 15 and being like, I don't know, Berlin just sounded like a very England sort of name. But yeah. Well, thank you so much. Shishido said, don't feel bad about your schedule. I'll just rewatch. But yes, so known since that time when I was 15 that Berlin Wall is in Germany, not England. Yeah. I think that like after I got into adulthood, I think my geography has gotten a little bit better just because I've had the opportunity to travel a little bit more. So I think my geography is a little bit better now, but it's still pretty poor. Um, Judo says my geography is not the best as well, honestly. Yeah, I remember when I was like a kid in Japan and my parents had decided that we were going to um, moved to America and that we were like gonna move to California. Um, and but like my family is Chinese, so imagine just like the confusion as a child, like living in Japan, but then being told that we were gonna go to the US. And then they kept on saying that we were going to go to California. In Chinese is California, which like in my 9-year-old brain I couldn't remember that at all. And then like the shortened version of like that is in Chinese is 加州. So then like I like couldn't remember the California. So then like I kept on remembering just like 加州, and like that like in my head. Then when I was like telling my like classmates in Japanese where I was gonna move to, I'd be like, oh yeah, like we're moving to America, to a place I think called Canada. There's like this like tangled up like, and people would be like, what? But Canada's not in America. So there's like uh another random little childhood story of confusion. And then being embarrassed because I was like, what? I swear it was, because like I think like in Japanese it's like Canada, and I think that was the only thing I knew that like started remotely, even like with like the ka is like sounds really a lot like the ja in like Chinese. So yeah, anyways, that was another one of and just Shudo said, oh yeah, moving countries as kid is weird for sure. Yeah, so that is another one of my random childhood stories. Um, that was yeah. So I now know how to say California in Chinese. Um, and I think in Japanese it's like California, which I also didn't remember how to say when I was a kid. Um, yeah, now I know for sure that Canada is not in America. Okay, so anyways, Alice says, do you ever think about what it would be like if we all were instantly transported back to our 10-year-old selves and we're interacting as our child versions of ourselves right now? Wait, and we're interacting as our child versions of ourselves right now. Like if all of us watching this stream became our 10-year-old selves and we're talking to each other, oh my God, that'd be so, I don't know. I don't think I was a great 10-year-old. um, like if you became your 10-year-old Shirley self who thought California was Canada. I also thought I was really great. Like I also thought that I was like some sort of a genius. Um, it was not a bright time in my life, and I distinctly remember I didn't think I was a genius. I knew that I wasn't like a genius, but I thought I was really smart. Um, um, but I also remember like thinking growing up that I was really smart. And then in middle school, meeting like one of my really good friends. She's like one of my bridesmaid now. But meeting her, and then I was also really competitive as a kid. So then, as 10-year old Shirley would not have been pleasant, because I was like a smart ass, and I thought I was. And I was also really competitive. And in middle school, meeting her, and trying to compete with her on all the tests, and realizing that like we would get about the same scores, but then like I studied really hard and she was like, oh yeah, I was just playing Neopets. And that was at 12 years old how I learned that I'm not a big deal, and there's always going to be people on a whole new level from me, and I should just like keep to myself and just like try and not compete with others and just like compete with myself, essentially, was a painful lesson I learned as a 12-year-old. But before that, at 10 years old, I was a shit kid. I think, yeah. Um, uh, Just Judo said, I'd be standing in a corner trying not to move or make a noise. I was that kid. Oh no. I was extremely painfully shy as a kid. It was like a weird, like I thought I was really great, but then like at the same time, like intellectually, but at the same time, I thought I was like but then I was like so painfully shy. Like I have like crippling anxiety trying to approach other kids in my class to like play with me. I'd be like, what would they think of me? And that I think partially has to do with like being a Chinese kid in like an all Japanese elementary school, and like that um kids can be like kind of cruel. So DT says I could only communicate in German, so I don't think I would come far in this chat. That's a fair point. At 10, I would not have been able to speak English, so I would not have been able to come far in this chat either. Quiet Deviant says 10-year-old me would have so many dinosaur facts to share with you all, whether you wanted them or not. Oh my god. Yes, I would love dinosaur facts. Gilliam says .ca is the DNS for Canada, though, so perhaps Shirley was right all along. Yes, that also confused me. Like growing up, I was like, why is .ca like why is Canada? Yeah, that also confused me. JJ Super Queen, is that? Are you, dude? Are you actually my sister? Oh, so JJ is actually my. I didn't know her Twitch handle. So, hey sis, says yes queen. Hey sis, nice to meet you. Wait, hold on. I don't actually know if this is my actual little sister. And Just Judo says I could. Oh, okay. So my little sister's name also has JJ in there. That's why I thought it was my sister. So Gilliam says, oh no, Just Judo says I could only speak German as 10 years old as well, but I would just not talk. And Gilliam says, DT, yeah, I hadn't learned one word of German yet. Wouldn't be much help either. Nice, we could both not speak in German then. Alice says, I'd be running around hyperly yelling, time to learn about data. Alice, you'd be so awesome. Actually, I was also, not at 10, but in middle school, I was quite obnoxious. My friends and I would just like go around like our middle school during lunch and just like yell that we were really hyper or something, like that we had like a sugar rush or something. Yeah, I don't think I was a great kid. Just Judo says DT sounds good to me. So okay, so Today I'm like really excited to get back into this. I think we've had like maybe 2 or 3 weeks off from this particular project, the Rich Asians one. And that's partially because I had kind of hit a point with the data analysis where I wasn't quite sure. Like I knew that I wanted to move on. Like I knew that there was like maybe one or two more things that I wanted to finish looking at, um, and then I wanted to I wanted to try and finish a few more things, and then wanted to move on to the design and prototyping. But I realized also that I wasn't quite sure how I wanted to move forward, so I took like a maybe like 2 or 3 weeks break from this, which I think is always really helpful when I'm really kind of feeling stuck on something. Um, so I now have like a few more ideas in my head. Um, but I think the first thing I want to do to kind of finish this off is like it's been like 2 weeks, so um, let's kind of just like go back and remember what we did. And so we went and looked at the budget versus revenue for each of the actors and actresses. And then we also looked at because there was so many movies that didn't have that data, we also went and looked at the movie ratings and vote counts. Um, but then I think in our maybe like so in our like last stream about this project, um, uh, I remembered that like missing data is just as interesting. And actually, this is one of the things I wanted to do today, like maybe potentially look at the movies uh, by those that only uh, or filter movies by those made in Hollywood. I also was thinking that perhaps today we can look at something else I've been kind of interested in, that was suggested in our very first stream together, which was looking at which actors and actresses have co-starred together, and like maybe there's some sort of interesting patterns there of like, you know, they co-starred together in one thing, and then they like started and then they started like acting together and like collaborating together in a lot of them or something like that. I thought that would be interesting. So actually, the very last thing we did last time around is kind of like put everything together to see if there's like any interesting things that we can notice. So we ended up, kind of putting them together. And I guess one of the things that we can notice is like kind of, for example, for Constance, like for a lot of her previous projects, it like really there isn't that much like financial information, and the scores kind of really like bounced around, and there weren't that many votes. And but I think so. This dark red one is Crazy Rich Asians, and this movie set is only filmography. It doesn't have like only movies. It doesn't have TV shows, because I wasn't 100% sure how we should handle the TV shows. Um, but once it hit Crazy Rich Asians, like the uh, there was like more kind of like there was more data, which is really interesting, more ratings. So I was also thinking, so interesting because Henry had always had like he started with Crazy Rich Asians, and he seems to have had like quite a few successful projects since. Michelle is one that I'm not 100% sure how to handle because most of her work is in in Hong Kong. But yeah, and then Gemma, I can't quite remember. Um, how to pronounce her name, but she was primarily in England. And then I'm not sure how many of these are Hollywood movies. And then Crazy Rich Asians, and then Captain Marvel. Why do I not remember her in Captain Marvel? She was billing was number nine. But yeah. Huh. Um, so one of the so I have both like finishing analysis thoughts and then also kind of like design thoughts. And one of the design thoughts I was having was like, because I think at the end of the day, these, so the, I think this is what I want to concentrate on, this information of um, uh, budget, revenue, and billing order. And then, so from a design perspective to move forward, I was trying to, I think it might be very interesting to come up with like one to normalize between everything and between all of the bill orders. Um, and then two, to somehow like come up with like one number that like maybe aggregates all those three things together as like a kind of like high level overview of the data set, and then we like dig into each of these like each of these factors. That's one of the things I have in my mind right now. But let's finish up like kind of the final curiosity of who's co-starred with who. So we're gonna have to figure out how to get the data ready for that, and then what we can do with Vega Lite for that. Oh, also, the very last thing we did was kind of looking at bill order and vote averages, then which is also an interesting thing that we did. And here we can kind of see that like Michelle Yeoh, like she has so many where she was like top billing. Actually, most of it is she was top billing, and then seems like a lot of hers were also rated quite high. And then who's this orange one? Orange one is Constance. Green one is Lisa Liu. So very interesting. Gemma has also had kind of like a variety of bill order. And then yellow is Michelle Yeoh. Yeah, there's also Aquafina in blue over here. So this might also be very interesting information. I don't think this is like the best way to show this information, but I think very interesting to just take a look at this. Not 100% sure if we could use this information right now or not. But let's do the let's jot down the idea about co-stars. And oh, Thirsty Pooch says, we love you, Shirley. Thank you. X-Talk Programmer says, hi, I looked again at your COVID simulation game on Git and was pondering about the data. Would it be possible to add a column with the observation date to the data? Observation date. I'm not 100%. So this is in, this is talking about what we looked at last week, where we were open sourcing one of my other projects. I'm not 100% sure what you mean by observation date. That might make it possible to compare different scenarios and different stages of an epidemic. Provide data for 2018 but not for 2020, for instance. It may be important to know this when one is using the data, while I might be able to add more current data later on, which would create multiple observations of individual cases. But I guess my confusion is different stages of an epidemic. My confusion though is that we're not trying to use any case data for the epidemic itself. So we're not trying to have, like, we're not trying to make sure that we're not trying to update any of our data because none of it is supposed to be related to COVID. Our data set themselves are more demographic information about about a country. So it's more hospital bed availability and kind of population information, like population demographic, like age breakdown information. So a little bit confused as to what the observation data is for. And Gilliam says, does observable have a feature where hovering over the legend highlights the related data? So observable itself is kind of like this notebook, and then we're using, for the visualizations, we're using the Vega Lite. And so for Vega Lite, we can do a tooltip. There's a vl.tooltip, I think, that we can use to say, like, when we hover over this, show this information. So actually, we can do that. I think aggregated chart. Let's do that, and then let's say, like, when I hover over, so you can say in encode, you can say vl.tooltip, and I think I can say nominal, and then I think I can say title. Oh wait, no, not title. So actually, no, I don't want the line. Let me say, for example, let me give this example actually. So instead of one of these, let me, in the scatter plot, for example, say that vl.tooltip, and then field is n, and then let's like use the title of the film. So that should hopefully work. Yeah, there we go. So then you can now hover over, and then, so this is a Vega Lite functionality, not an observable functionality, but now you can see, and I think you might also be able to specify, like, if you want to like concatenate different attributes or something. I think you can like do your own formatting. So, Aquafina's the farewell, selling. Okay, getting distracted by the data. Yeah, I actually was looking at, I was trying to find this tooltip thing myself yesterday, and there's actually really cool functionality with Vega Lite, if you like get deep into it enough. And Gilliam says, for example, for the bubble chart, when hovering over the legend, filling in the chart bubbles. So I'm guessing, do you mean, like being able to filter down by that? Do you mean like by hovering over each of these, potentially being able to filter out? I wonder if that's what you mean. So I think it's definitely possible in Vega Lite to be able to like connect these linked, like different, link the legend or link like different charts and then be able to filter down. But that's something that I just usually would do with D3. So I don't know Vega enough to be able to kind of like put in that sort of functionality, but it's, I think, definitely possible in Vega Lite. Yes, Gilliam says, meant the colors look nice, but maybe don't stand out too much. Yeah, so these are just for like us to kind of like take a brief look at for like quick analysis. So definitely wouldn't be using this for like any of the final. Xtalk programmer, maybe we can chat after about what you're talking about with the simulation, either on Twitch or maybe on Twitter. But yeah, so let's talk later about what you're talking about. And I'm going to just jot down the final thing, which is like looking at, let's see. So today's the 2nd? Yes, today is the 2nd. I was able to buy the like Hobonichi like planner, the life planner, a few days ago, and I'm very, very excited for using that for next year. So this is for Crazy Rich Asians, and so we're gonna look at the co-occurrence of actors, actresses. So let's maybe use a heat map. And then I think what I'm gonna do is it's like a matrix. Is it? I can't remember. Is it called a matrix? And so is just gonna be like it's gonna be the actors, actresses on both sides. So in that case, let's take a look at how we do heat maps in Vega Light. Let's see. Vega. Actually, would it be Vega? Vega Light API. So let me try this. Vega Light heat map. Let's try that, but also let's kind of go and look at the Vega Light documentation itself. So actually, let's look at examples. Ooh, cool. So actually, I think even here we have an example. This might be the example we want. Actually, maybe this one. This one. Let's see. So this is the Vega Light documentation. Ooh, 2D histogram heat map. This might be what we want. Oh wait, but not histogram. Oh wait, maybe histogram? Ooh, there's so many more. My laptop is like refusing to. Ooh, there we go. I think this might be something. Yeah, I think this would be close to what I want. So actually, in that case, the whole table. Look at the rendering speed of all of these pages. My laptop's just like, nope. Nope. You have too many charts. Oh, okay. This is perfect. I think we just want something like this. And then this isn't, again, this is just exploration. This isn't us like building the final. Oh my god. Oh my god. Laptop, you can do it. Ooh, okay, cool. So that makes a lot of sense actually. So he's using, here's the data. He's saying the mark is a rectangle, and he's doing, yeah, so he's encoding the fields, X and Y, saying nominal, different types, and then coloring quantitative color by aggregating the count. So, okay, so I think let's do it this way. So let's just get the data in a shape that would we can feed into this. So what I have in mind is essentially like all the same actors on one side as the other side, and then the color is going to be based on how many films they've been in together. So, what? Oh, Gilliam says, Shirley, you brought down my computer with visualizations in the past, so it's only fair thinking about the card captor Sakura one. To be fair, that is Naughty's, not mine. So whatever happened to your computer because of that visualization cannot be pinned to me. So, okay, so let us go and how should we calculate this? So basically we're looking for co-occurrence. Let me refresh on the data set itself. So movies. Okay, so we're gonna do this in the most straightforward, lazy way possible, which is that we're going to loop through each actor and actress we're just gonna do 2 for loops within each other. So we're gonna just, yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do 2 for loops where we just go through and, oh, this is gonna be an ugly piece of code. That's okay. So, okay. Yes. I think I know what we need to do. Yes. So we're gonna look at co-stars. So let's get the cost data. Let's do it this way. So let us probably, so we call it co-occurrence. Do I want it as a okay, let's do it as an array for now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to loop through each of the actors. And let me get name of the actor or actress. And let me get their array of movies. And then, so actually, maybe I want to do, okay. So actually, I think I'm gonna rename it to source. So I feel like, is this like a new, I feel like I've seen this kind of syntax where I think I'm saying like take this key out of the object and rename it to this. Does that work? Let me try. Ooh, DT says yes. Perfect. Although I hope that Gilliam says haven't used this syntax in the past. I think it might be like a super new one, which means that I'm not 100% sure if observable supports it. And Gilliam says, haven't you used the syntax in the past in the fetching streams? I don't think I've used this particular syntax. I can't remember anymore. Maybe DT used it. And then the ES6. Yeah, let me see. We'll see. And then, oh my god, no. I think, okay. So I think what I'm gonna have to do, this is gonna be so ugly, yay! So for each movie, I want the ID. Actually, no. Okay, hold on. So I guess this is gonna be, you know what? For simplicity, I'm just gonna call this source, like trying to optimize, and it's just confusing me. Okay, so source actor, target actor, and what I'm gonna do is for co-occurrence, I'm gonna push in an object that has the source, his name, and the target's name, and count. And this count is what we're going to want to figure out. And I think what I can do is say get the hopefully this works. So in Lodash there should be a function called intersect, I think, the intersection. So if I give it 2 arrays or collections, it should be able to tell me which values are the same within those two. Let's see. Is it by array? Intersection. Perfect. So yeah, so creates an array of unique values that are included in all given arrays. Yeah, so it will say, it will both basically get the values that are in both of the arrays. And if I want to do intersection by, then I should be, so then I can do pass in those two, comparator. No, okay, so I think this is what I want, yeah. So pass in the arrays and then get the, and then I can pass in a function. So let's try that. So intersection by, and then I want to pass in the sources movies and the targets movies. And then what I want to compare is the ID for both of them. See if that worked. Ooh, interesting. The computer's like, why? Look at it flashing. Ooh, who is? Oh. And I should also say, if the source is the same as the target, then return, and then let's see. Why is this saying that? Gilliam says our source and destination is supposed to be in one param. I'm not quite sure what you mean. I'm gonna do this, and then now we should have the data set we want. Ooh. Ooh, okay, so wow, they've been in 3 movies together? Really? Huh. No, what? They have? That does not seem quite right. Okay, so let's try and debug. Let's see. Okay, so count, and let's go through the movies themselves. Oh no. Okay. And then, well, no, then let's go through each of those and figure out what movies those are. Movies is not defined. Is that one not? That is what I called it, right? Okay, let's console log this then. Hello, Snowbite. Thanks for joining the chat. Okay, so let's try this. Okay, so what are they? Oh, that makes sense because they are in three. That makes a lot of sense because they're in three Crazy Rich Asians movies together. So that makes a lot of sense. So I think actually that might mean that it's correct. So yeah, that makes sense. That a lot of them are going to overlap for the series. Okay, so I think that's fine. And so what I'm going to do is say count.length minus, actually, no, I think that's fine. Count.length. And then let's go ahead. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm sorry, laptop. Oh my god, my laptop is so hot right now. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is actually, this is a lot of people, which is cool. And also there's gonna be a lot of repeats. So yeah, so what I'm gonna do is, do I care about repeats? I probably should care about repeats. Okay, so there's gonna be, I'm gonna do it this way, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna figure out cost ID is equal to source.id and target.id, and then I'm gonna say co-occurrence ID is equal to this, and so now we should be able to get I am now so confused. Source.id, source.name. Oh, that's fine. Okay, and I'm gonna turn co-occurrence into an array that we can put into our Vega Lite. So co-occurrence values, and actually, let me also do top, let me also give a cutoff number is equal to 6, and that way we don't have such a long array. Oops, cutoff. You know what? I'm gonna do it this way. Top actors, and then I'm gonna do take, which gives me back just the top 6, an array of the top 6 actors, and then I'll use that in here. And so now the co-occurrence should be much shorter of an array. Perfect. There's 30, and there shouldn't be any repeats. This is kind of fun. Oh, silly me. Okay, so that's kind of annoying. Okay, so this is so hacky that I'm doing it this way. Please don't judge me. So essentially, I wasn't actually unique in them correctly because for the ID, I basically was like the source ID, target ID, but then like, for example, if we come back to here, like it's basically the source ID and target ID are like flipped. So I need to actually make a unique ID. So now there's 15 of them. And now that we have this, we can go and actually, this isn't that fun, huh? Because then we can pretty much see that they probably are only really working. Okay, let me expand it to the top 10 actors and actresses in also not that fun. It's very unfortunate. So they haven't really worked together. So it seems like, yeah, so their co-occurrences aren't that high. I'm gonna expand this to the top 15 build. And let's see, co-occurrences seem really, So it seems like there isn't much co-occurrence. So yeah, so Gilliam says, can you increase more and filter the low counts after? And even then, I wonder if I'm doing something wrong, because the count is, I swear there was more co-occurrence. Okay, let's just use all of the actors. Okay, and then let's try and see d3.extent, see the co-occurrence. Oh, I don't have d3 defined. Okay, d3 is equal to require d3. And so here, max co-occurrence is 4. Okay, so let's go and a little bit sad about this, but okay. Equal to, let's go and see what the maximum, okay, let's try this, co-occurrence, actually I'm gonna also go and, thank you so much to, oh no, Miracle, oh no, I'm sorry, I missed your handle, but, oh no, I completely missed what that notification was, but thank you. Okay, so we're going to, I'm gonna adjust for, I'm gonna see which movies they co-star in. So I'm gonna do this. And I want to I want to get the title of the movie. And then I'm going to filter down the co-occurrences by for any with a count greater than 1. And so that's 16 co-occurrences. And so these make sense. So Jimmy O Yang was Wish Dragon. So yeah, so I remember Last Christmas. What is this? So actually, you know what? I think what might also be interesting is taking out these three out of that filter. So I feel like probably actually now I feel like we're getting somewhere very interesting. And actually we didn't really even need to like put it in a heat map to get this. A little bit sad. Chris Pang and Michelle Yeoh. A little bit sad that it's not as me. Whoa, what is this? What is this? Shang-Chi. Okay, I'm gonna take out. So I'm gonna take out the 3 Crazy Rich Asian movies. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna count. So actually I'll do it this way. I'm gonna chain and dot intersection by, and I'm going to actually do dot map and just get the title for each of these, and then I'm gonna filter by the title, and I want it to not be one of these titles. So I'm gonna say, as long as the title is not one of these, then keep that movie. And so then you can do count and count that length, and only keep the ones that have 14. Cool. So actually co-occurrence. Let's see. Oh no. Okay, so let's take a look. Most of these are zeros. Okay, so now we can see Wish Dragon, Last Christmas, One World, Shang-Chi, Crouching Tiger. Actually, it's interesting. Ooh, so actually, what might be really fun is to put this in a small network graph. So a small force layout. This is very fun. Okay, so okay, so this is all right. Let's do this. Let's see. Okay, this is what we're going to do, and hi Nicholas Cage Fight, thank you so much for subscribing. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to make a graph. So we're going to make, let's see, and force graph. Actually, maybe we'll, yes. So we were going to make one of these. That'll be fun. And wonder if, I guess I'm just going to copy it over because that might be the easiest way to do this. I was going to try, I can also import this one in, but because it's not a function. Yeah, I think the quickest way is just for me to copy this code over, and then, see, I don't care about color, data nodes. Okay, we're going to have to make nodes and links, and let us define our height as half of our width. And let's make our nodes and links together. So now that we have, so this is actually our links because it's saying which ones are, this one is, yeah, so we're just going to need to get the nodes. So these co-occurrences are our links, and from there, let's build out the nodes. So let's do the easier one first, where we just, okay, so I think the easiest way to do this is go and just get all of the source and target, and then, okay. I think I know what I need to do. Go and for each of the co-occurrences, actually, you know what? How about we just use that actors as the nodes? This actors array. I think that's fine. Actors array, and then to be able to get to match them up, I'm gonna use. So basically, I'm telling D3's force layout that these source and targets, the way that we can map it to our nodes array, so our actors array, is that they'll be matched via the name attribute. So once we do that, let's see. View box. Interesting, this one uses view box. And then pass in actors. So I don't care about dragging. That should hopefully work. And ooh, fun. Okay, so now each of these are actors or actresses. BB says, have to run, love watching you work through things. Thank you so much for joining. Hopefully it was helpful. BK Sesta says hello, and yes, it is indeed JavaScript, not Python. Okay, so let's have some labels on these. So these are all of the other actors or actresses, but it's very fun to be able to, I think this is probably Michelle Yeoh. This is very fun. Okay, so let us go ahead and add, let's see. So go ahead and I see what's happening here. Okay, so what we want to do is, I want these to actually be group elements, SVG group elements, and then I'm going to append a circle into that, as well as into that. For each node, I want a circle that gets drawn, and I also want a text that labels them. So let's get their names. And then here, because the nodes are no longer circles and are instead group elements, I can't use the CXCY to position them anymore. I need to use a transform, and it's gonna have to be translate d.x and d.y. And hopefully this way, even if it's a little bit messy, we'll be able to see their names. It is very messy and I cannot see their names. Probably because some styling. Let's see why that is. Where is the styling happening? Ah, because of this part. Okay, so this is saying to give certain strokes, like certain colors to the stroke and the fill. So actually, we're gonna do it this way. Stroke width, let's give that 2. I'm gonna say the fill, I'm gonna have it as white, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have the stroke as a gray, and then I'm gonna give it some sort of, actually I don't think opacity is necessary. Now we should have, okay, let me just style the text a little bit so that it's easier to read. Dot adder, let's see, let's have this font size be a little bit smaller. Let's give it 10 pixels. Just because it bothers me, let's center this so that is a middle anchor. And then let's also vertically move it up a little bit. And then, now, perfect. So, that's Aquafina. So interesting. So Michelle Yeoh has worked with, so each of these, the counts are only, oh, Russell Wong and Lisa Liu. And then actually for the links, let me also, for the links, let me have it be d dot count. And then that should give us, nope, let me just actually use, for links, I'm gonna have the stroke width just be the count, d dot count. DT says, the poor other actors on the outside. I know, right? They're like left out of the circle. This is where you start to notice she's worked. Gilliam says this is where you start to notice she's worked with D3 before just a bit. Yeah, I'm sorry that was so fast. That I did everything. I'm just trying to finish for the day, so I didn't quite talk through things as much. Actually, let me. You know what? I think I'm just gonna keep the names right over the circle so that it's easier to read. I'm actually gonna make this a little bit lighter. Okay, perfect. Oh wait, hold on. One more thing. I'll do one more thing. Dot adder dy 0.35. Okay. So this is fun. Okay, so Russell Wong and Lisa Liu have worked together a lot. Okay, you know what? I will bring the drag back in so that we can rearrange, so that we can like drag things around and be able to see things a little bit easier. So the drag is gonna happen on the node, and I will, where is drag? Oh, this is, okay. Is this something I want to be copying and pasting over? That's okay. Let's just do that. And you know what? I'm just gonna, this is such a messy cell. Okay, so actually, I'll put this in a different cell. Not that I'll ever use it elsewhere in this notebook, but that's okay, just for cleanliness sake. So now we can go ahead. Should I make that bigger? Let me like make that a little bit bigger. No. Dot link. I can't remember off the top of my head. That's okay. Okay, so look at this. Russell Wong, Harry Shum Jr., Chris Pang, Henry Golding, Aquafina, and Constance Wu have worked with Jimmy O Yang, Ken Jeong. Actually, this is very fun. This particular part is very fun. I want it this bigger. Now I'm just like obsessing over little details that doesn't actually matter because why am I doing this? So D3 force layout. I just want the links to be a little bit further apart so I can read things a little bit easier. That's all I want. Actually, force link. So I want to push the links apart. Dot distance, strength, iterations. Distance, okay. Distance is the one I want. I want a bigger distance between them so that it's easier to read. Okay, so force links, dot distance. Just gonna say, let's say 100. Okay, is that easier to read? Perfect. Okay, that's so much easier to read. Yeah. So cool. So I think I want to know what this is. So Lisa Liu and Russell Wong. Travel Club. Wow. Okay, so another thing I'd be curious about for next time, or I think next time I want to move on to design and prototype. But I think what makes me curious about this one is like exactly which films they've co-starred in together, because it seems like there's a few where they were all in it together. Ultimately, I don't actually know if this will make it into the final story, but surprising to me that there's actually so few co-stars, co-occurrences that have happened. Let's see. But I'm also glad that we did this just now, so that like we don't we did this as quickly. Actually, so this was a pretty quick like check to see this particular idea, and I don't think it 100% panned out the way that I was hoping for in my theory, but it's good to be able to kind of chuck out ideas early on. I think this might be like a fun side note if we dig into it a little bit more and see like which movies they've acted in together, and if that like eventually led them to like, I don't know, work on this movie together. But I think the main thing is I think this part of I'm not sure even if like I'm not even 100% sure if this is like a really significant story of like this part of their bill order, revenue, and budget, and maybe the bill average. I'm not sure if this is actually a interesting story or not. I don't think it will be like a full-on story then. It might just be like a small like visual exploration kind of thing. We'll see. Like, let's make that decision on Friday when we do the design part together. And DT asks, so the line would be each movie then, or if they have any movie together? So yeah, the line would be the number of movies they've had together. Another way we could have done this if we had a little bit more time is to actually connect all of them based on the movie they've done together. So that would just require like one more step, I think, in terms of creating the node and link objects. And we can do that really quickly at the beginning of next week. And Hitnet says, is an R language more efficient for data mining? I am pretty sure it is. The only thing is I've never used it and I've never like learned it. And that's why I'm using JavaScript, because I primarily do visualization, and I do that in JavaScript. So I find from myself personally that I whatever like perceived efficiency gain I get from using another language that might be better at doing something, I lose all in the context switching of like remembering like the language syntax, and like and then like having to remember how to do things. And I tried to do like I tried to get better at Python for data analysis before, and I found that like the context switching between JavaScript and Python just like ate up so much time that it just wasn't worth it. Maybe that's just an excuse, but and Gilliam says efficiency wasn't what Shirley wanted to focus on. Yeah, so essentially I just wanted to show like my usual work process. I'm not being like this is the best process out there and this is how you should do it. I'm just sharing like how I do things. And if I could learn like how to do it more efficiently, that's like awesome. But DT says, yeah, I think JavaScript is great to visualize data and share it. Yeah, so it just, at the end of the day, I found that keeping it all in one language was just much more efficient for myself. Okay, so that was for today. I'm glad that we went through that together. I'm glad that I had a chance to refresh my memory on what we did together before. So when we get back on Friday, let's start kind of drawing out some ideas, like sketching out some ideas on I do it on my iPad. And then kind of figuring out if there is a good story that we can tell, or if it's just like one visualization that we're going to show. Yeah, sometimes the data set isn't as rich as I hope for. I hope this isn't one of those cases, but if it is, that's fine. I am a little bit sad about this one. I was hoping that this one would be a really fun one. It's a good idea to kill your ideas before it takes root too much. Anyways, okay. Thank you so much for joining again on this Wednesday. I will see you on Friday. And have a good rest of the day. Bye-bye.